Hi guys, so just quickly, please do excuse any mess you might see on my clothes. I've just had a bowl of noodles and I kind of dropped it everywhere, so yeah. Anyway, I've been wanting to do another of these kind of life update videos in terms of uni, because a lot of you seem to enjoy my kind of update when I first started uni, well, when I was going to start uni and stuff. So I thought, here's a little follow-up. I don't know how often I'll do these, maybe I'll wait again till next year, providing I'm still there and everything. But yeah, by the time I've uploaded this, I think I would have already have started my second year, but right now it's coming up to the new year. So I can't remember what I mentioned and what I didn't mention in the first video that I did, which I'll have linked around somewhere. But for the first year, as like all the years I do believe, we are split in 2 semesters. I should probably say that I take animal management at uni. So yes, we are split in 2 semesters. I think the first semester of last term was longer than the second semester, but I think it might be the other way around this year, or maybe, I think regardless, one of them's always going to fall shorter than one of the semesters, which is, I guess, kind of like terms for those of you that may know it by a different name. So in my first year, what did I take? I'm trying to get it all right what exactly I took. If I forget anything, I'll try and put it somewhere, and if I can as well, I'll try to put the credits that it's worth. So yes, in first semester I took BP, which is biological processes, mammalian anatomy and physiology, and then sector studies, which is kind of like, you know, you do business skills, presentation skills, that sort of stuff. Easy one to pass, but a lot of people don't really take it seriously, and it is a really annoying one. It feels really pointless, but you know, you've got to pass it. And then we had to choose out of the 5 kind of sub lessons, which was companion care, equine, animal therapy, livestock and wildlife. I took companion care, wildlife and livestock, so those were the other 3 lessons that I did. So that ran for the first semester. We had exams in like January and stuff, and of course we had coursework as well. And then for the second semester, because we already done the exams and coursework for BP and mammalian anatomy and physiology and part of sector studies, most of those lessons were dropped, if that makes sense. Not dropped, but we'd already passed them. So in the next semester now, I did comparative anatomy and physiology, animals in society, and then again companion care, wildlife, livestock and sector studies carried on as well, because we had another exam I think that we needed to do or something like that, so that carried on. I will say that I did have to do some resits last year. I had to resit both the coursework and the exam for biological processes, and the same for principles of animal management, which is the collective term for the wildlife, livestock, equine, you know, those 5 that I mentioned earlier. That's the collective term of that. So I had to redo those. Also for the beginning, like for the first semester, I had some exams that I needed, or some coursework and stuff that I still needed to do at a better level, if that makes sense. So I was going back and forth, like feeling hot and cold whether I wanted to stay or whether I wanted to leave, because although I knew that it was going to be a commitment, because as well I'm commuting in, so I'm travelling every day, and I knew that it was going to be a severe amount of work, it just, I guess it really struck me, and I was really struggling for a long time. It might even be the case where I go through that again, because apparently the first year is supposed to be the easiest, and I found it really difficult. But who knows, I might enjoy what I end up doing this year a bit more and kind of get more stuck into it and understand it better. I will say some of the tasks or some of the lessons that I had in the second semester I thoroughly enjoyed and understood more than those in the first semester, particularly when I was studying biological processes. That was so difficult. It was very heavy in the science, and a lot of people, they don't realise, when I say I'm doing animal management, they don't think it's a science degree, but it actually is. It's very, very heavy in like behaviour, as I mentioned earlier, anatomy, physiology, that sort of stuff, because you need to know these animals inside out, because obviously if you're dealing with them, they can't talk to you, they can't tell you what the problem is and stuff like that. So it is to some extent a little bit more in depth than some other sciences that I know about. So yeah, I did find it a really difficult year for the most part. I am going in, you know, positive for the second year, but I don't know how that's going to take place. I'm positive that I've forgotten to mention something about the first year. God, but as I mentioned, if I remember anything, I'll try and put it in the description or something. So yeah, I had quite a few folders in terms of workload and stuff like that. I'll show you, and I even had like separate books, and I don't know how I'm gonna go about it this year. I'm not really prepared for that at the moment, but these are like the amount of folders I had, and I think I have a few more books that I was writing in and stuff. Because sometimes I was really struggling with my printer at that time, and I couldn't print out the lectures all the time. For some reason my printer just kept going offline, but I've got a new printer now and it works fine. Hopefully I haven't jinxed it. So a lot of the time I'd go and be like literally writing down everything of the notes, and then continuing that at home. So that's why I had notepads. Sometimes with the folders I'd put the actual lecture notes in there and just add my own notes as we went through them during the class. I think I'm going to try, if I can, to either take my tablet some more now, because I got that I think in the semester 2, so it was just a bit easier, but I can't put notes on that for some reason, so I don't know. So I'll either bring my tablet, or I'll just try and make sure that I can print off the lecture beforehand. Yeah, I will say that I think one of my favourite lessons had to be Animals in Society, and I actually really liked Comparative Anatomy and Physiology too. For some reason I grasped that more than the Mammalian one, which we had in semester 1, but definitely particularly Animals in Society I really did like, because that was more about like ethics and morals and stuff, and I will be honest, it was more of an easier lesson, but nonetheless it was very enjoyable. I really got stuck into it and I really enjoyed it. We had a lot of guest lecturers and stuff like that. We had planned to go to a trip, but I don't think it got sorted out properly, so we never went in the end, but that's something I really thoroughly enjoyed. And we also had a lesson with a guest lecturer on wildlife rehabilitation, which is something that I hope to go into in the future. So that was really insightful, really interesting. But yes, looking forward and moving forward to year 2, I think this is the time where we have to choose the kind of thread that we want to go into and study in progress for our dissertation. So you remember those 5 core subjects I was mentioning, which come under the thread of principles of animal management. So that was wildlife, livestock, companion care, equine and animal therapy. Well, some of those are kind of combined and split off into, I think, 3 main streams that you have to choose, which I think kind of generally shapes your timetable and the things that you're going to be learning in its whole thing, if that makes sense. So I think it's split into companion care and zoo, equine, wildlife and livestock. I think animal therapy gets dropped. I don't know if you can go further with that, I really can't remember. Should have done my research, but yeah, nevertheless I want to go into the thread of the wildlife conservation, because as I mentioned earlier, I want to go into wildlife rehabilitation hopefully, and I think that would be the wisest choice to go down that route rather than any of the others. Initially I would have, like, before I actually went on to this course and everything, I would have completely said yes, probably I'll be going for companion animals and zoo, because I had in my mind for a very long time that I wanted to be a veterinary nurse or something in that industry, but I probably mentioned this here and there, but since working volunteer and all that in that place, I kind of realised I didn't really like that as much as the open work and the hands-on work as something like animal sanctuary and that sort of stuff, which I think would come under rehabilitation and that sort of area. So I think I will be choosing that. I don't know how they're going to kind of fit the module around that, how well tailored it's going to be to that specific choosing, I suppose, but it's going to be interesting to see. And I know a lot of people on my course will not be going for that option, so hopefully that means a smaller class, and hopefully that means a bit more one-to-one conversation with my tutor in that, especially if it's the same guy that we had last year, because I really liked him. He was very enthusiastic about his work and it was really inspiring, so hopefully we still have that guy. But yeah, I don't really know what else to mention. Obviously I can't really talk too much about uni life because, as I've mentioned before, I commute there, so I travel in and out into my uni. I don't live up there, but I think I still have a social life. Like, I go out with my friends sometimes. They know I don't really like clubbing, so if, I don't know, it's rare that I go out with them, but you know, we have fun during lunch and stuff like that. We're always in someone else's room so that's fun. But yeah, I do notice a little bit of a detachment in terms of the people that live up there and, for example, myself that live at home, travel in. It's just because they're bonding more, aren't they, because they live near each other and they're all always seeing each other, where I only see them for like, I don't know, 7-8 hours a day or whatever, however long I'm up there, I don't know. So it is a little bit different. People don't know my annoying pet peeves and stuff like that, and vice versa, so that's understandable that we're going to have a little bit of a hitch in our relationships. And I don't really make an effort to go out anywhere unless I'm asked, because it's usually generally clubbing and I'm not really into that. But when it's other things like going town and whatever, I'm all up for that. I think that's it. If anything happens that's noteworthy of making a video during these next few semesters for the second year, I'll probably update you guys with that. But if not, if I decide to make another one of these videos, it'll probably be at the end of the year going into the third and final year. So hopefully this year goes well. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have some ups and downs, as I did with the first year, but I'm really hoping to come through again, hopefully with even better grades, because I'm all about improving, and I just hope I really enjoy it, because I do like the lessons. It's just a lot of work, really a lot of work. But yeah, that's all for this video. If you guys are at uni or you're starting or something, let me know what you're studying, your, I don't know, hopes and fears of it all, and just the general feelings that you're feeling right now at this time. So I will let you go, and I'll speak to you in another video soon. Bye.